Welcome to the Pocket Parlay podcast. It is November 15th, and the Bills are going to be missing the playoffs. Today, we're going to be talking about the biggest surprises halfway throughout the season, the biggest winners and losers throughout so far, the Trayvon Diggs tweets, and whether Josh Dobbs can lead the Vikings to the playoffs, and more. I'm your host, Will Maynard, here with my two favorite codes, Mr. Zachary Mishik, Mr. Ryan. How are we doing, boys?
You killed that, man. Let's
Yeah, that
go.
was good.
You
Nice
got me
intro.
fired up.
Yeah, ad-libbing out here. All right, so let's start off with we're halfway through the season. What's our biggest surprise from each one of us so far? There have been a lot of surprises.
Yeah, I
Zach,
can. Oh, shoot. No,
no,
Zach. No. Host
Ryan,
kicks
Ryan,
it
no,
off to
no,
Zach.
no, Ryan, you want to take the reins?
All right. Well, I'm gonna take an easy one. You kind of mentioned it in the intro, but I think it's really, really surprising how much the Bills are struggling this year. I mean, going up against a Broncos team that just across the board isn't that good. I know they have 4 wins now, and like it seems that there's teams worse than them. But honestly, like they've struggled so much. Maybe they're starting to click, and maybe it wasn't as bad of a loss as I'm making out to seem. But I feel like this was a horrible loss. Josh Allen struggled again through multiple interceptions. I think everybody's kind of starting to get on the same page and start to question Josh Allen's not his ability, but like his ability to get his team to win games and like not make huge mistakes. Uh, so yeah, that's my biggest surprise. Like coming into this season, I think everybody had the Bills as, maybe a top five team. And now they, like you said, Maynard, they might not make the playoffs. So
I just want to say I don't know if this is on camera or off camera, but I told when Justin Herbert was getting all this hate, that the hate for Josh Allen was coming like a massive tsunami. And now it's on prime time. It happened. All of a sudden, he doesn't have this ungodly defense like they've had in years past. Matt Milano got injured. I kind of think some of the guys left for other teams in free agency this past year. And I think they said that since he's joined the league, he has the most turnovers of any quarterback. He also has the most touchdowns, but turnovers being so costly. I'm I don't like hate Josh Allen, but I love that he's getting all this hate because I've had to withstand the Justin Herbert hate all the way since last year or whatever it was when Emmanuel Acho started talking about social media quarterback bullshit. So I agree. Buffalo like 5-5 at this point, and I think they're about to enter a really tough part of their schedule. They got the Jets, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. He's going to be facing at least probably four playoff teams in the Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Eagles. So this could be the official closing of their opportunity or their window of opportunity. Zach, you got anything to say about this?
Yeah, I'm happy. I like Josh Allen. I think he got praised a lot too much. I'm with you on. I was waiting for his hate to come, but from a different side, Dak Prescott getting all the hate that he does, and that I feel like Josh Allen's done kind of the exact same as Dak. So you can kind of give him that sort of hate. Like you praise him so much, you got to give the hate just as equal. But I feel like the media doesn't really do it that well. My surprise though would be the Houston Texans. I thought with them getting CJ Stroud, they would still be a bunch of players away. Will Anderson, I really haven't heard that much of. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about him. No flashes, no nothing. But D'Amico Ryan's going in there and changing that whole franchise basically, and just putting this quarterback in the best possible situation. And they built the best playbook. I think a lot of teams should take what they do and implement it with their teams, aka like the Chargers, the oh my gosh, I can't even think. Cleveland Browns, like those type of New York Jets, those type of teams. But that's my biggest surprise of the year. I mean, besides maybe the Jets, but that was just Aaron Rodgers getting hurt the first like series.
The
yeah,
fact that you couldn't name a team outside of the Chargers when he brought that up felt like that was just an attack, like in the chamber waiting for me.
Oh,
I'm
half.
not gonna
Sorry.
lie, I agree with that one.
Yeah, Ryan, I know you're about to go. I just had to get that off. That definitely was a provoked attack.
100%. No, I was just gonna say I agree with your stance on the Texans, Zach. I think we all talked like week one, and you and I both agreed that we thought CJ Stroud was gonna be good, but there were still a lot of questions about the offense. There were questions about the defense. Like, are they gonna be able to actually win games with a rookie quarterback? And CJ Stroud is that dude. Like,
When he's
he's
trailing too. When
what's
he
up?
when he's trailing. Whenever he threw that pick and he's still that next series, he still delivered. He didn't get scared. He didn't get
Yep.
anything.
And he's got good weapons at wide receiver. I think he's either leading the league in passing yards at this point or he's second. So yeah, I mean that team has a very high ceiling moving forward, and they might even make the playoffs this year. So
He
cool
is
team.
Yeah,
second
in
in
that weak
passing yards.
division.
Take a guess who's first. He's
Sam Howell.
It's
yep,
oh yep.
NFC
Yeah.
East.
Um, I guess to piggyback on y'all. I at the beginning of this season, I was not a CJ Stroud guy. I had been on record saying I thought he was going to be bad. That's probably going to go down as my worst take of the year. I will say for Will Anderson, his sack numbers aren't there, but I did look at it and he has a lot of pressures. So he's not like hitting the quarterback, but he's definitely getting there. And considering that like I could probably only name you Will Anderson Jr. and Derek Stingley on their defense and what they've been able to do, uh, they're definitely a surprise team and it's definitely still I feel like in play to win their division. I know the Jags are the Jags, and we expect them to be good, but with the way CJ Stroud's playing, it is kind of like an MVP level where he might have to be inserted into that talk.
Agreed.
I'll say my surprise of the year is just how bad the Giants are, and I know they've been injured. Saquon missed a few weeks.
They
Jalen
don't have a
Jones is out the
quarterback.
rest of the year. But even when they had Daniel Jones, like they were horrible with Daniel
Yeah.
Jones. When they had games where they had Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller. Like I think about that first game against the Cowboys y'all had, where y'all beat them, was it 40-0? Like I get that y'all are the Cowboys, and I get that it was raining, but this was supposed to be like an upgraded offense. Now that you had your game changer in Darren Waller in, and you look terrible. In pretty much every game they played, they've looked terrible. Tyrod Taylor has been a better quarterback this year than Daniel Jones. So I kind of feel almost that Brian Daboll did too good of a job year one and got Daniel Jones paid, and now they're stuck with him, who's a mid quarterback. I mean, like his best attribute is that he can run,
Yeah.
I guess, but he's not like a franchise quarterback.
There's
And
worse
so, huh?
there's worse quarterbacks out there, but he
Yeah,
doesn't play in the top
He's not
10.
good.
talking about Zach Wilson. Facts.
Yeah,
So
Maynard, really quick. I completely agree with you. I think they overachieved last year. I haven't looked at their games last year, but I feel like a bunch of them probably happened like game-winning drives, kicking a
yeah,
field goal type
Or
deal. I think last year was probably a fluke. And even if you look at Daniel Jones's like stats from last year, it's not like he threw a great like touchdown to interception ratio. He was effective on his legs. That's I think that's why they were good last year. But totally a fluke. I'm with you.
I think what it was last year was he didn't throw a lot of interceptions, but I think he only had like 15 touchdowns.
It was like
Like Brian
15-9
Dable,
or something. I can't remember the
yeah,
number, but
Dable was trying to make it like as easy and safe as possible, and I mean it worked. They were kind of like the Vikings, but they were a little bit scrappier, and then they played each other in the playoffs, and we all thought maybe this was like the Giants turning over a new leaf when they won that game, but so far it's looking horrible, and they may be. If you let's say we're obviously looking far into the future here. Let's say they finish with the top five pick, and they have the ability to draft like Drake May. Do you go ahead and draft a quarterback now, or do you start building pieces around until you get off that Daniel Jones contract?
I don't know if you can draft a quarterback
that would be
with
such
the
a waste.
contract on the books already. Because it's like the first round quarterback, I don't know how much they make. It's probably like
Like
15 to 20 a
23.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't be paying Daniel Jones 35 and go sign a rookie quarterback for 4 years with like that just wouldn't work. You have to figure out a way to trade him beforehand. And that's a total possibility. Like they could trade him in the draft type deal, but
They would have to trade. I think they might have to trade away a first round pick with Daniel Jones just to get him off the books.
I don't no, no way. First round
Who's
pick.
trading? Who's trading for Daniel Jones in that contract?
I don't know. I think
yeah.
the contract
I,
will be average at the end of at like 2 more years or whatever. But first round picks are just worth so much more in the NFL than it is in other sports. So I can't be just attaching first rounders. I mean, are you
I
going to
would
first round pick for
I don't think
Saquon?
you I don't think you
no,
give
but I
up on
would.
Daniel Jones this quick. I would, but I don't think the front office does because they were so successful last year. They gave him the contract that they gave him, and then he got hurt. Like if he played all year and he was playing up to this point and the Giants were this bad, then maybe that's a conversation within the front office. But at this point, what did he play like 2 or 3 games? Like you don't just move on
Yeah,
from a guy you just gave that contract to. And I think it's impossible or nearly impossible to get rid of it. So, I think they probably try to put some pieces around him and it's not going to work. But this next year's draft class for quarterbacks is absolutely insane.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see where they land. We're gonna have to do like a mock draft for the first round come
Yeah,
off
for
season
sure.
time. So we started off talking about the Bills missing the playoffs. I think we kind of had to go back to the Bills and talk about these Trevon Diggs tweets he's been sending out about Josh Allen, saying, uh, free for 14 got to go. That old boy hasn't been good
Stefon
until
Diggs
he
or
got
Trayvon
there.
Diggs?
Trayvon Diggs sent out the tweets
It's bad.
about his brother. It's bad. No, no, no. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of a bad look on Stefon and, in my opinion, Trayvon.
I'm glad
Um,
that Trayvon doesn't do this about the Cowboys.
with his own brother. But so wait, Ryan, have you not seen the tweets?
So I haven't seen the tweets, but I've seen like the speculation that, Stefan wants out of Buffalo. I can't remember who it was on the talk show this morning, but it was Gronkowski. Gronkowski was like, dude, you've been paid. You get all the targets you want. You're in a situation where you can win. Like, why you're with a good quarterback, right? Like he throws interceptions, but he also throws for top 3 passing yards every year. What's a better situation than Buffalo for a wide receiver one?
Just a
I
deal.
don't understand it.
Just a
We
deal.
also know Trayvon. He said that
And
in one of
he's
his
always
tweets.
like catching touchdowns and like it's not like
His
he's had
stats are
bad years.
insane.
Yeah. What's he
Well,
mad about?
one thing that Trayvon said was that Josh Allen didn't start getting good until Stefan got there. But I don't remember anyone ever saying before Stefon Diggs got there that he was like a top 10 wide receiver. When he was at Minnesota, I can't remember anything he did besides the Minneapolis Miracle, in which it was just like a prayer ball, and it just so happened that he'd be the guy to catch it.
He
So
was good. He was good in Minnesota. Like when he left Minnesota, he was probably a top 10 receiver. He didn't
top
make it
10,
into, yeah, probably top 10. Probably he didn't make it into the top 5 until I mean, he probably had 2 or 3 1,000 yard receiving years in Minnesota.
that's anybody can get those. Jordan Addison's about to get that as a rookie. So
And if he does it for 3 years, he's probably going to be a top 10 receiver.
probably that's fair. That's a fair point. Um, Zach, what's your takeaway on the Bills and this Stefon Diggs situation?
I think that Trayvon's just really, really lonely after his ACL. He's got nothing else to do. I can feel towards that.
Lonely.
Just start yelling at clouds. But I don't know. Trayvon Diggs is just sticking up for his brother. He doesn't want all this hate to go on his brother. Like, what is he doing wrong? But I think it's just I think Sean McDermott's done after this year. I think they just fired this OC. This is the funny part with NFL. If they don't have 12 men on the field, that OC doesn't get fired.
Dude, that was crazy. That was a
That was a
crazy
wild
end of the game.
ending.
We have to talk about that. That
That's
was like,
like
how
some
do you
Cowboys
end the
stuff.
game?
That's
Oh
some
my God.
Cowboys type things to happen.
Oh no, for anything, that's a Chargers type thing to happen. Damn it!
We both have
Finding a way.
horrible franchises, so it's okay. I think we can both take this one.
We all find incredibly interesting ways to lose.
Yeah. But the NFL is just if you win, it covers up a lot of stuff. how long until Sean McDermott's done? His defense hasn't been that good. I guess they've had some injuries, but sooner or later you got to get. They messed up by not keeping Brian Dable. It seems like they've gone
Yeah.
downhill since that happened.
Well, Brian Daboll wanted to go be a head coach, and you can't really stop him. Also, I don't think Sean McDermott's done. Matt Milano, I don't feel like people understand how good Matt Milano has been for them the last couple of years. Like he probably would, if he had been stay on the pace that he was at the beginning of the year, he probably would have been considered for like an All-Pro linebacker, right up there with Fred Warner. So they've had some really good defenses in his time with the Bills. So I don't think you. I think firing Ken Dorsey was a good idea, and let's see who they can replace him with. But I don't know if
Joe
I'd
Brady.
fire Sean McDermott.
There's no way Sean McDermott's gone after this year. Maybe if
Yeah,
they have another year like this next year, but I think Josh Allen won't. I have hope for him. Like he hasn't looked this bad until this season, right? Like he's always been turnover prone, but he hasn't been this bad. So I think the Bills would be back to normal next year.
They got Joe Brady though for OC now, the guy from LSU during their national championship run. So that's going to be exciting.
I don't really trust play
Pink Fade,
callers when we're
Austin
talking about their
Knox,
best
all of them.
play callers though. When they're like their best seasons are in college, I feel like don't normally work out. That was like Bill O'Brien. He was the OC for Alabama when they were insane, and then look what he's done in the NFL. Dog water.
Okay, he's got Mac freaking Jones.
Wait, I thought it was the other way around. Thought he
What?
was at thought he was in the NFL and then he went to be OC at
He was the Texans head coach. Then he went to go be OC at Bama, and then I believe he went back to go be OC at New England,
got it.
which he had success in Bama, and then look at how New
Who
England
wouldn't
and
have
Houston.
success as OC at Bama?
Also, yeah, we're gonna say like that. If you're Joe Brady, how do you not have success with Joe
Joe
Burrow,
Burrow, Jamar Chase. Yeah.
and Justin
It's
Jefferson? I
yeah,
could call some plays, and I'd probably put up at least 30 points a game for LSU.
honestly.
Okay.
So
Okay. Anybody can do this job. Anybody can do it, guys.
Dude, if you have Joe
um,
Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, I don't know, run a bunch of freaking slants and you're probably gonna
yeah,
score 35 points. Like they're
think
just
about who
better
they
than the dudes
played.
across from them.
Yeah.
So okay,
Wait,
so
also,
Zach, go
also
ahead.
Tavius Murray, the pickup by me. I want a little bit of praise. I want a little bit in fantasy.
Giving you no praise for that.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Okay, just because y'all suck in fantasy, don't come on. I picked him up off the waiver wire.
Now listen, buddy,
If
you can be
you
a
have
fantasy guy.
Latavius,
All right,
Any one
game. I'm
You guys have been the fantasy guys, but both of y'all are at the bottom half of our league.
no,
The
no, no,
last
no.
two,
We're
actually. You guys are
we're
fighting for
gambling.
who's going to be given the jersey.
wow.
No, no, we're
Ryan
gambling
offered me
guys.
20
all right?
bucks to set some players the other day. So y'all suck.
Dude, no, we're
Dude, if you're
we're
starting Latavius Murray on your fantasy
yeah.
football team, you need to quit. You should
I'm
just
just
give
talking.
up.
You
I'm just talking
you had a
about
prayer and a
money in
hope.
the
He got a
game. Money in the
touchdown,
game.
and that was the only reason you won. If
You
he
won
didn't get a
money?
touchdown, yeah, congrats. Hey, this is a gambling podcast, damn it. All right, this is
Yeah,
a
I know.
gambling
I got money
company.
on that.
By the way, we've been hot fire at college basketball. So I'm gonna pat myself on the chest. I've been deep diving into college hoops.
Kick rocks. I don't give a damn anymore. We don't applaud anybody. We're all rooting for each other's failure, even though we're all the same team.
Pretty much. All right. I want to talk a little bit about the rocket scientists of the NFL. What's your Josh Dobbs? And if
Dude,
y'all are buying at all about the Vikings making the playoffs.
I gotta look at the standings. You can go first, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna look at the standings while I talk. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but they'll definitely win some games with Josh Dobbs. Oh, they're 6-4. Golly.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Their schedule is pretty easy. Broncos, Bears, Raiders. You got Bengals and Lions, and then Packers, Lions again. They could split with the Lions, honestly.
I mean, what's gonna end up happening is, so they're gonna end up fighting for a wild card spot against either like Seattle, Dallas.
If there are 3 wild card spots, though, I mean, there's no one from the NFC South that I think any of us think are going
No,
to take a wild card spot. I don't expect the Rams ain't making it.
no.
All right, and then you think unless Washington can make a run.
Washington could make a run. They could, but
Mm,
I don't think they will. I don't,
mm.
you're right. I think Minnesota could make the playoffs.
Josh Dobbs, I feel like I feel like if he leads them to the playoffs, he's got to stay the starter for the Vikings for next year. Like
Is
what
Kirk
he's
Cousins
done.
under contract?
No,
Oh,
it's
it was just one
ending
and
after
done.
this year.
Sad.
It is sad. We're gonna see Kirko ride into the sunset potentially,
No, he'll play
dude.
somewhere.
I
And
watched that quarterback documentary, and he just gets beat up so much. I think almost feels like he wants to be done.
What if San Francisco keeps struggling this year? Like they lose a couple more. That's a place where Kirk Cousins would make sense. Doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes.
I don't know if they have the money. This system fix or
Yeah,
like works, but the paying, I don't know how they pay everybody else, but not a quarterback. I feel like
yeah.
they'd have to trade some ways, some pieces, or make the money work. But I feel like John Lynch always makes it work. But also, I got another team. What about the Tampa Bay Bucks? Their schedule is really
No,
easy,
no.
like stupid easy. They have to play the Panthers twice, the Colts, the Falcons, and the Saints still.
Well, let's
The
see
Saints
here.
and the Falcons are probably both gonna like
And you're kind of skipped over the fact that they play the Jaguars and the 49ers.
Jaguars look bad. I mean, 49ers, yeah, I'm just saying too, like their schedule isn't that bad.
Tampa's not good.
If people start figuring out the astronaut kind of guy.
Tampa, they can pack it up.
Horrible
They
O
by the way,
line.
they already lost to the Falcons when they were at home earlier this season. So like going now to Atlanta and assuming that they're gonna win that game, don't see that happening, buddy.
All right,
Yeah, unlikely.
on my board.
All right, well we'll remember that when the Baker guy, you can be the Baker guy of this podcast. That'll
Okay,
be
don't just start tagging
Baker
on
and
names.
Zach Wilson.
Don't even just
That's who you're
tag
riding with.
on names. Like,
Nice.
Baker and Zach Wilson.
okay,
It's pretty good, Zach.
You are you have a type, it seems like.
I hang around y'all.
Just shit.
Yeah.
Just bad
The
at football.
worst of the worst. Uh Ryan, I've been charging up. All right, and Zach, we're gonna get to your bigger win or bigger loss here in a second. But I have been waiting to see what excuses you come up with for your daddy, Joe Burrow, fall into the Houston Texans. He told me he's a top three quarterback. He's healthy now. He goes and has two late fourth quarter interceptions that end up costing them the game. And I know that they was tied at the end whenever he walked off the field. Two interceptions on back-to-back drives. One that was in the end zone that got intercepted, so he came away with no points. And you talked about that you still think they're going to make the playoffs. They could even win the division, get their 5-4, still have to face the Ravens, Steelers, the Jags, Steelers again, the Chiefs, and the Browns. Although the Browns did lose to Sean Watson, it'll be Week 18. That is not an easy schedule going forward. Joe Burrow had a bad game again. So what's the excuse here?
You done?
He's a top three quarterback,
Nope, not done.
and the rookies out here just dealing against him.
Done now.
Um,
There it is. Okay. Joe, I don't know what the hate is on Joe Burrow because he's gonna get his team to the playoffs again, and they're gonna like run through some teams. So first of all, this was the first loss that the Bengals have had with a healthy Joe Burrow. I'll give it to you. He didn't have his best game, but he also did not play that bad, right? He had two interceptions. He threw for, or sorry, two touchdowns and two interceptions, but he threw for 350 yards. And you're right, like at the end of the game, he didn't clutch up and he made mistakes. But on a week to week basis, like you see the best quarterbacks in the NFL do that. That's not something that just doesn't happen. We've seen Patrick Mahomes do it. We've seen Tom Brady do it. It's when Dak or um, whoever else you want to name, a Chargers quarterback perhaps, does it on a week by week basis and it becomes like an issue. Josh Allen, like these are all valid, but this was the first week that we've seen Joe Burrow struggle while healthy. I still think they're going to win the division. I still think they're a really good team. He also didn't have T. Higgins last week. He's not going to have T. Higgins this next week. So yeah, I mean, they're going to be fine.
So
They're still going to win their division.
so
I
you're
have no
telling
doubt
me
about that.
his unbelievably stacked wide receiver room is just a little less stacked?
Jamar
Boo.
Chase is hurt
Boo.
too.
Hey, was he on the field
Jamar
playing?
Chase was, yeah, but he was questionable coming in and he's questionable this week. He has a hurt hammy. He's not
Oh
100%. And he has his second best receiver out.
man, if
And let's
only
not
I
act like
could
Tyler Boyd
shed a
is some
tear.
like amazing receiver. He's maybe a top
I
50
would
receiver in the NFL.
love Tyler Boyd to be my wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yeah, but you don't have a good team to root for. We're talking about good teams right now.
There's a 1 game difference between us and the Bengals. I want to point that out because you keep saying the Bengals are going to win the division. They're going to be so good. One
Yeah,
game
if we
difference
had a
between
whiteboard,
us.
I'd write it on up there. Bengals win the division. Chargers aren't going to make the playoffs. That's
I
not
can't.
a hot take.
I
That's
can't
not a
wait
hot
till
take.
Chargers missing the playoffs. Not really a hot take at the moment. They're under 500. The Bengals going out and taking the division from the Ravens, who have 7 wins. By the way, Bengals Ravens Thursday night football. You might want to mute your phone, Ryan, because I'm gonna be blowing that bitch up
No, I'm turning my
when the
ringer
Ravens
on.
win by 30.
Nope.
So no,
Nope.
we're gonna come back to the end of the season, and I'll laugh and I'll chuckle when I see the Steelers somehow make the playoffs over the Bengals.
Whoa.
There's no way.
Whoa.
There's no
Wow.
way. There's literally no way.
Hey, they got a better record than them so right now. They're 6-3.
It doesn't matter.
Is this coming from that the Chargers suck and that Justin Herbert lost them the game this weekend?
Okay, let's go with 2 things. One, this comes because I hate Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. All right, unlike you, I'm diehard college fans, and they went to LSU, and I hate LSU. Number 2, Justin Herbert didn't lose us the game.
I looked at the stats. He threw the interception. Everything
He
else
threw
was
the interception in the first quarter of the game, and
that
then
was the
proceeded
difference in the game.
to score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
That was the
If
difference
your
in the game.
if your defense lets up 530 yards, that says something. We scored 38 points.
What's the difference between Lions and the Chargers?
They got the ball last. What do you expect me to say?
Because you threw the interception.
No, it's in fact not that. It's in
It
fact
would
we
have been a
couldn't have an
touchdown
O
up. It would have
line.
been points up. It would have been
Did you
points
watch?
up.
Did you watch the interception? Did you watch the interception? Yeah, 38 points. If you score 38 points in a game, you are expected to win. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how many interceptions you have.
38
If you
points.
score,
Are we back in 1990?
oh, excuse me.
Ryan, yes.
I have a question. This is for Maynard, and it's not mean at all. It's probably a question that you'd like to answer. So
Yeah.
it feels like your defense has a lot of dudes on it. Like you got Bosa, you got Derwin James, you had JC Jackson. Obviously that didn't work out. But
He
like
was
you
terrible in New England.
I know, but you've had star players that
Yeah,
like
Wannabe
I would
stars.
expect our defensive coordinator to do something with. So like
absolutely.
what is the issue? Because it feels like you put
Dude.
enough decent people on the field on one side of the ball that you're gonna be you have decent linebackers too. Like I really don't understand. I don't understand.
I would love to answer this question. Zach, put your damn hand down, all right? I mean, this is a question directed towards me, so let me answer.
I want to answer after Ryan.
Okay? Okay, let's start off number 1. We don't
I'll
have
be mediator on this one. Zach, you're next.
we have dudes in terms of names. Like I still think Derwin James is still like a top 2 safety in the league. I'll stick on that. But Joey Bosa is either injured or not playing as good as he did back in his younger days. Even I'll admit, I love Joey Bosa, but he's not been as good these last couple years as he used to be. Khalil Mack, if you look at his stats, he is saved by the fact that he had a 5-sack game against, I don't know, I think it was Tennessee earlier this year. Other than that, he's not been very good. He's been like decent run stopping. And the way that Brandon Staley likes to play defense, like that bend, don't break, except it's constantly breaking. How are you playing a bend don't break defense and then shit breaks every single drive? It's stupid. It was like last year we couldn't stop the run to save our lives. Now we're like 8th, I think, in run defense. This year we are allowing the second most passing yards per game in a passing league. The only people that have more is the Broncos. Go ahead, Ryan.
So if you were a defensive coordinator, like what would you be doing differently? Like, would
If
you
I
be like being more aggressive, like more blitzes? I don't watch a lot of Chargers games, so I don't like know the type of defense you run. Do you feel like you're just sitting back and letting things happen too much?
I would definitely switch out the D line rotation. Tuli Tulupto. I don't know if I said his name right. He's our second round rookie out of USC. In college, he led the all of college in sacks, and he's played really well. I would give him more reps. I would definitely blitz more, and I would also play more press up man. Like I've seen even Tony Romo, like all these different announcers have came out and said, like when they're watching Chargers games, why is it when it's 3rd and 2, do we have our
Yeah,
corners backed up 10 yards? Like we say, no, we made the joke that not everyone can do these jobs. At least I know not to do that dumb shit. So, like, y'all can make all these jokes about Justin Herbert costing us the game and all that stuff. It's the defense. The defense is horrible. Like allowing 41 points to anyone is bad. But that's what I'd fire Staley tomorrow. I'm kind of rooting for the Packers in a deep, twisted part of my soul this coming Sunday. So I know if we lose to the Packers, he is gone.
Zach, did you have a point to make there?
Yes, it's just a word, one word that it ties together with a lot of Maynard's teams. Culture. The Chargers have no culture. They have no grit. They have nothing to like work for. They're just a bunch of names on paper. They're wannabe stars. And that's just the answer to it. Until they change that word, change that part about themselves as a franchise, it will never go anywhere.
Backpack.
That was good.
Well, that was
That was nice.
hilarious. I I mean he's not wrong. Your coach kind of does dictate your culture, and the Brandon Staley culture has not worked out.
Dude, look at the Raiders these past two games. Bring in a different attitude, and they didn't play very great teams, but like you can see on the field the way that like they're playing differently.
Yeah. Um, Going on here to our last segment. I'm all like my blood's like pumped up now. I feel like I could run through. I'm
I
ready for
can
Oklahoma
I can
drill.
I can take over it. We got
Yeah,
5.
I'm just about to give it to you.
All right. So we're gonna play this new game this week. It's called Bigger Win or Worse Loss. So last week we had a lot of close knit games, and let's start with the Bengals. I know we kind of talked about it earlier. Ryan, go Bengals and Texans.
Texans.
So bigger win or bigger loss
Worse loss.
Yeah.
Bigger win or worse loss. Yeah.
for the Bengals.
For the
Oh, okay.
No.
No, I'm starting.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I think it's yeah, sorry. I new game.
Should have came to me
I think
first.
it's a
Zach.
worse loss for the Bengals. I think you had a healthy Joe Burrow. You're going up against a rookie quarterback, with not a like amazing defense. This was a game the Bengals I felt like should have easily taken. I mean, it was a 5.5 point spread, and they were the home team. So, yeah, worst loss for the Bengals.
Maynard?
I'll
And it was
go
a good win
saying
for the Texans for sure, but
it was a good win for Texas, but in the playoff race, this is the worst loss for the Bengals.
yeah.
Okay. Next one. 49ers and Jags.
This is a better win for the 49ers. I don't know. They were kind of spiraling going to their bye week. You come out against a Jags team that's probably going to make the playoffs, and you drop 34 points and you dominate. This is a get right game for me, and they executed well.
Yeah, man, I'm close on this. I want to say I'm gonna go tie. I thought I'm tying it.
How did I
Just
Okay,
making
fine.
rules.
I'll go
This
Jags.
is-
I'll go
this is
Jags. I
your
thought the
win or
Jags were gonna come
worst
in
loss
and
or tie?
fight.
I forgot the name of the
I thought the Jags were gonna show up and be better. Like I thought they were gonna go in and score points, and the 49ers weren't gonna look that good against them. So worst loss for the Jags.
Okay, and then we got a couple more. Browns and Ravens.
I'm gonna go. Damn, this is one I want to go tie on. I'll go, I guess, worst loss for the Ravens, just because you had such a grip on that division, and then you let this game that you were leading slip on through. I will say there's kind of a partial loss here for the Browns losing Deshaun, so that kind of knocks them out of the race. But now that you don't have that stranglehold on the division, I'll go Ravens worst loss.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if Deshaun was still healthy and they had the opportunity to make a push for the playoffs and like pull something together, then it would be a better win for the Browns. But given they're probably not going to do much without Deshaun, I would say Ravens.
Okay. Last two, we got Lions and Chargers. I know we spoke about it briefly. Does this put the nail in the coffin for the Chargers?
I'll take this one. I don't think it's a nail in the coffin. I think one more loss to like I expected this game to be a loss. I think a loss to Green Bay next week, that is the nail. I think it's also a bigger win for the Lions, like showing now that you can win kind of a lower scoring game against the Chiefs early on in the season. Now you got a super high scoring game, and you went punch for punch and came out victorious. It just shows that they can win multiple ways. I'm going bigger win Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. We're low on time, so I'll just say I
Last,
agree.
last one, Seattle and Commanders. Seattle on that verge of being 500 or not. They're 6-3 now.
I'll go Seattle. Bigger win here. I think Commanders are slowly like losing something to play for, and Seattle still kind of has big hopes for this year as being a dark horse in the NFC. So this win was big.
Worst loss for the Commanders. I feel like this was a pivotal loss for them. Like if they were able to stay 5-5 and keep fighting uh, for one of those wild card spots, then I just feel like now that they're 4-6, they're going to be fighting from behind. And I don't think Sam Howell is mature and been in the league long enough to lead his team there.
Okay. Thanks for playing this week's bigger win or worst loss. We'll be with you guys next week.
I
Maynard, take
like
it
that one.
away.
All right, until next time, we will talk about week whatever the hell next week is. Love you boys. Peace out.
Peace.